So right now I am on a live stakeout. I actually have a van under surveillance, and basically what happened, locally I received a notification, I sent it to my partner too, about a white van that was involved in an attempted kidnapping of a 12-year-old boy. And this was in Mar Vista, and this little boy realised something wasn't right. It was a man and a woman in the van. He approached a couple with a dog and said what was happening. Unfortunately, nothing happened to him. But it's really concerning because it's actually a man and a woman together, while this white van, similar white van with a big padlock on the back of it, different plates though, but a man and a woman. And so I pulled up to the park to watch. It so happens that there's a camp for children going on right, like literally a few meters away, and the guy just got out with a little dog that he has. So anyway, more to come. So the guy just got out of, looked like the side of the van, and he's walked round. He's now at the front side of the van in the driver's door, and he took out a load of coats and looked like blankets and walked them round to the side of the van. And there is a woman in the van too. Now I would say that they're both in their 40s. The guy is short, probably about 5'5", 6", balding, quite a stocky guy. And the woman's still just sat there. But a police car just drove by. We did call the police and they just drove straight by. And the guy has now he's leaning back into the driver's door. It's certainly very odd behaviour. And in the attempted abduction of the 12-year-old boy, well, it was a man who opened the door, but there was a woman who was aged in her 40s in the van too. More in a minute. So quick update, the cops have now turned up. They have just pulled in next to the van. The guy is out the front of the van, close to my car, with a small dog. And he paid a lot of attention to the cop car coming back and forth. The cop is just about to approach the vehicle, and the guy is with a tiny dog. What a cover to have a tiny dog, to bring it out and to stand near the park just looking at children. So the police officer has now knocked on the window and signalled to the guy he wants to talk to him. And so now they're having a conversation. And just from the guy's behaviour alone, he knows all about the police. And I think the dog really does, children like to go up and pet dogs. So really concerning behaviour here. I'll keep you updated. You just cannot trust, and particularly when they're just hanging around a park. They're right by the tennis court and the play area for the kids, but they don't have children. And yeah, sure enough, you could say, well, he's got a dog. So the woman in the van just started to hand out the window what looks like a yellow ticket. I don't know what it is, but they are definitely, you might, if you're not aware of crime and if you're not aware of people, you might just think, well, they're just a couple minding their own business. But the white van has a big padlock on the outside of it. And the one thing I'll say is, why do you need a big padlock on the outside? And the van that was seen in the kidnapping, or the attempted kidnapping of a 12-year-old, well, it had very bad and chipped paintwork. This van has been painted and it's got a different vehicle registration, but that's very easy to do. Paint the van, put new plates on, and people are looking in the neighbourhood for a van with chipped plates. So, okay, quick update. With the police officer was signalled to the guy he wanted to talk to him, and the guy, he's about 5'6", wearing a blue shirt, black pants. He would just blend in. He's dark skin, he's got his glasses on the back of his head, and got this tiny sort of Chihuahua dog. What a perfect cover. And he's now remonstrating with the police officer, and I can just see he's saying, I'm just here minding my own business, and I'm walking my dog, and now you're stopping me. And yeah, he's definitely not happy, and the police officer is maintaining a wide stance. They're right by the tennis courts. The thing that I will say, I don't know how this is going to end. I doubt it will end in an arrest, because I don't think the attempted kidnapping was reported. It happened on February the 24th, and I'll tell you more about that. But what I will say is, please be vigilant. If you take your children to a park, you have to watch them every minute, particularly if you've got a toddler, because guys like this, and with a woman, So if people are looking for a van that's got chip paint all the way down the side and the vehicle registration number, because the mother had taken a picture of the van, and so people will be looking for the wrong van, but it's the big padlock on the back that draws attention to it. Most vans you lock from the inside, you don't have to lock from the outside. Now the woman has gotten out the van. She is about, I would say, barely 5 foot, and she's almost just as wide actually. And I'm not being unkind, it's just to give you a clear description. She's got dark hair. She clearly is very animated, talking to the police officer, waving her arms, and clearly not very happy. So if you're just minding your own business, why would it bother you if the police officer just stopped and had a chat? And these two are definitely not up to anything good at all. So the conversation has definitely changed now. The woman's out the car. She was about to get back in, or out the van, I should say. The door of the van is still open on the passenger side, but the police officer just fist bumped with the guy. I gotta say, it just gave me Brian Laundrie vibes. Why does a police officer do that? I don't know, but whatever he has said seems to have appeased him, and she's come back. She's wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans. Look, they could just be, you know, minding their own business, but just everything about the way they acted, and in fact, you know, everything about their behaviour just points to them not doing anything good. So anyway, I'll keep you posted. So the police officer just got back in his van. He spoke to them for about 10 or 15 minutes, and he's just about to drive off, and they're left there. And now I've just found out there's a children's spring break camp just literally going on, just probably about 15 feet away, just on the other side. So is that why they're here? I don't know. I mean, it could well be. So you're going to see the police car drive by, and he's gone, but at least the van is on his radar. He would have called in the plate. So we'll see. And now the two of them are talking to another lady with a dog, and I'm just going to carry on watching them. They're under surveillance. I want to see what they do, but that might just be enough, a deterrence to stop them, to know they're being watched. We'll see. So now I'm out of my vehicle and I'm following on foot, and I've got Detective Savage out with me too. He's now walking round to where all the toddlers are. There's a big camp here as well, lots of children, and he is now solo on foot walking to where all the little ones are. And again, you just have to be so vigilant. I see nannies on their phone, I see mums on their phone, I see people not paying attention, and you just have to, when there are people who, you know, are in children's play areas that shouldn't be. So, keeping it real today. So I'm back in the car, and now he's back by the van, and I'm watching them again. And what's weird is that he's been cleaning his windscreen with a brush, cleaning the window, and now he's underneath the van doing something under there, as if, I mean, why would you come here and do all of this stuff? It's really bizarre behaviour, and there are just so many children in the park now. So he spent a lot of time walking around watching everybody, and whilst he was doing that, I was watching him. They are aware of me now. They've been watching me in the car, and I've been doing various bits and pieces. But just watching them, that can be enough just to let them know people are aware of them and their presence, and it means they're not allowed and won't be able to actually do anything. So that's important too. But this kind of stuff takes a lot of time. Hey lovely, well, I'm going to introduce myself because I know I've got a lot of new people coming on to my TikTok videos about my stakeout that I ended up doing yesterday inadvertently. So my name's Laura Richards. Yes, I am the crime analyst. I'm a criminal behavioural analyst, and I'm also the former head of the sexual offences section and the Homicide Prevention Unit at New Scotland Yard, where I did a lot of very important work. And now I put a lot of my insight and analysis into cases that I analyse on Crime Analyst to help people. So there is a very real purpose, and I decided to record what I was doing yesterday. And please do go and watch each of the videos, because one of the things I want to just nutshell yesterday with is that on the balance of probabilities, I do believe that it's most likely the same couple that I was watching yesterday who were also described in the attempted abduction of a 12-year-old boy in an area called Mar Vista in California. And it's not just about the couple, it's also about the van. The van was incredibly similar. And although in the February 24th attempted abduction, the van was described as having chipped paint and a big padlock on the outside, the back doors, there was a big padlock. Well, this van had been painted, but there was a big padlock on the back doors. And again, I haven't seen that before with many vehicles. And on the balance of probabilities, because that's what I always work within, there are possibilities and probabilities, but what are the chances that there are two similar couples, the male and the female described in similar ways, driving a white van with a big padlock on the outside of the back doors in the same area, the same locality? And this van has been spotted multiple times by others near schools and also near children's playgrounds. So it was on my radar. I'd already posted about it because the mother of the 12-year-old boy of the attempted abduction, she was so horrified. She had posted on local social media that everyone should be on the lookout, and she was clearly shaken up, as was her son. So I am someone who takes these things very seriously, and I wanted to pass that on locally and obviously do my duty. Given all my training, I ended up spending most of my morning on that stakeout watching this couple. And that's quite important just to let you know, because I have a toddler myself, and this is an area that I know because I take my toddler to lots of different areas and for him to play. But I think it's really important that mums also share, and dads, community intelligence with each other. Okay, so from observing that couple yesterday morning, I can tell that they are police aware. And by that I mean that he was tracking the police car. He was aware of it instantly. Now, most people don't really pay that much attention, but he did. And he was remonstrating when the police spoke with him. She was very unhappy too, and the way that they conducted themselves, their behaviour. And then what they did afterwards was also just as intriguing to me. So please do watch each of the videos on TikTok, because I describe each stage of what I'm seeing and what they were doing. And, you know, as I always say to people, and it's a well-known adage, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? So prevention, it can be that just by watching someone, because I wasn't on an undercover stakeout, by watching someone, that can be preventative. That can be a deterrent in and of itself. And it wasn't me who called the police, by the way. So some people said on the comment section it was me who called the police. It was not. But I was there to observe the interaction and what happened thereafter. So I just want to give a little bit of advice to people. Yes, it's better to be safe than sorry. And always be aware of your environment and your surroundings. And particularly if you have a child, be aware of who's around your child. And equally, they can literally just turn tail and run somewhere and be gone like that. So if you're there on your phone scrolling, you're not going to be paying attention. And it's really important that you do. Clock who doesn't belong in the area. Have them on your radar. If you're at a child's playground and there's a guy just wandering around or just sat there watching, have him on your radar. Be aware. And just because he has a dog, that doesn't make him safe. Dogs can be used as icebreakers. Equally, just because he is with a woman, that does not make him safe either. And just because he has a child, that doesn't make him safe. I've worked abductions, attempted abductions, serial killer cases where the serial killer actually had children's seats in the back of the vehicle to sort of say, well, I'm a family guy, I'm a dad, and so to lower someone's concern and children's concern. So that can be used as a ruse. So never just think that someone's safe, and trust your instinct. If something doesn't feel right or someone doesn't feel right, trust that. Don't feel that you need to be polite. I cannot underline that enough. I know so many cases where women felt that they couldn't and shouldn't because they didn't want to be impolite, and then something terrible happened. Don't give someone the benefit of the doubt. Certainly, if you don't know them, they don't deserve it. And follow and listen to Crime Analyst podcast. I break down a lot of cases and put a lot of information in the podcast about cases, about my expert analysis and insight from all my experience. And I want to share it with people to help, particularly regarding prevention. And go over and subscribe to Crime Analyst YouTube channel. It's free. So other cases that I break down that are different from the podcast are on the YouTube channel. So do make use of it. So I'll end, as I always end my podcasts and my YouTubes, with be curious, ask questions, and always trust your instincts. Always trust your instincts.